What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Ark Insight, and today, guys, we're taking a look at the SHADOWMANE versus the DINOPITHECUS. So this one I'm actually super interested in because, honestly, before the DINOPITHECUS, the SHADOWMANE was probably my go-to creature for pretty much everything, except for, like, obviously flying. So I'm interested to see how this goes. We're going to test them out and see how they go. Let's take a look at their base level stats, so at level 1. So for the SHADOWMANE, we have 825 health, 450 stamina, 425 weight, and 125.8% melee damage. They also have 9.9 armor. We take a look at the DINOPITHECUS. He's got 775 health, 800 stamina, 350 weight, and then the 125.8% melee damage. So already the SHADOWMANE is slightly stronger in terms of health and weight, but we'll see how that compares to their attacks. So the base melee damage of the SHADOWMANE is 44. Now, that obviously scales up with its swipe attacks. You can see there, we're slowly building it up, and then it does have access to the super strong attack. So it's interesting to see how that is going to play out in the fight at the end. So it looks like when it doesn't use its swipe attack, it's only 44 damage base. So that's still pretty solid. Let's jump onto the DINOPITHECUS, which I believe off the top of my head is 57. So 57 damage for the DINOPITHECUS. All I can tell you right now is it's going to be a very close fight to the death. Now, we're going to go over where you tame them. So DINOPITHECUS is exclusively on Lost Island in the Redwoods biome. You need to tame it by defeating the fellow apes around it and then weakening the alpha so you can passive tame it from there. SHADOWMANEs are passive tamed using fish baskets, and they are found on Genesis Part 2. Pain in the butts to tame sometimes, but the same can be said for the DINOPITHECUS. So let's go over their abilities. Now, like you guys saw, the SHADOWMANE has a male and a female variant. Each of these have the ability to buff the opposite creature, and depending on which one you're riding on, they provide different bonuses. If you have a male and a female together, they will buff your creatures if you're riding on the male. If you have a female, she will cause all your dinosaurs in a certain radius to become invisible. Now, the SHADOWMANE also has a secondary attack which will allow it to blink strike. You can see there we sent out a bit of like a pulse field that will highlight anything in our range, and we will then teleport strike to it. Everything is on a cooldown. You can see there just above that blue bar, everything is on a cooldown. They also have a charged jumping attack which can send them flying up in the air, gaining some major altitude and distance with this attack. Now, as well as that, they also stack up this bar at the bottom of the screen. When they reach the fullness of the bar, they then have the capacity to do a charged attack. Now, if this charge attack successfully kills a creature, they can then repeat this attack because the bar fills up straight away. So this is great for dealing out tons of damage to creatures around you or to just anything, really. So I'd heavily recommend bringing in some SHADOWMANEs for you to utilize. Now, as well as that, they also have a Thorn Mail attack where if you are attacked by wild dinos, that wild dino will then take damage back. Now, this Thorn Mail attack will cause you to take less damage, so it's definitely worth investing in a bunch of SHADOWMANEs if you have the ability to. But I believe that's all their abilities. They're also super good swimmers. Absolutely one of the best swimmers and terrestrial creatures that you can get. So I'd heavily recommend getting yourself a SHADOWMANE tamed up, or a pair of them even, so you can breed them. But that is everything for the SHADOWMANEs. Let's go over... Oh, they also receive a hydration buff. I almost forgot. You can see there in the top right-hand corner that we get bonus speed, health regeneration, and damage all get boosted. So keep that in mind as well. They do receive a hydration buff. Now, as for the DINOPITHECUSes, these guys have the ability to jump very high. Not as high as the SHADOWMANE, but they can still jump very high. They also have the ability to climb up structures and terrain. You can see there. They also have the ability to throw grenades, poo, and poo-infested grenades, which all will disable tech aside from the grenade. So if you throw poo or a poo-infested grenade, you will disable tech in the area. To select this, all you need to do is hold down your control key, and then all you need to do is hold down your X key to line up the grenade, and then all you need to do is hit your primary key, and that will throw the grenade. It is on a bit of a cooldown. It's about 5 seconds. You can see there in the bottom left-hand corner that it slowly comes back up and ticks up. So pretty strong. Definitely would favor the Dinopithecus for Lost Island. Even the Shadowmane for Lost Island would be really good because there is a lot of waterways and stuff like that. But yeah, that's everything for the Dinopithecus. What we might do is I might do a test to see who is faster, actually, because I'm kind of interested to see who would be faster out of the two of them. My money is on the Shadowmane. I think the Shadowmane is just so much faster than the Dinopithecus, but we'll find out. So we'll race from this gate to the rock over there, and we'll see who goes the fastest. So let's get the race underway, and we'll see who comes out on top. No jumping or anything like that, because I feel like that would break it. So that was about 8 seconds for the Dinopithecus from these gates to the rock. And you can see there we've barely used any of our stamina. So keep that in mind as well, because you'll notice with the Shadowmane that it utilizes a lot more stamina than the Dinopithecus. So let's get this guy, and we're away. You know what? I think the Dinopithecus might be slightly faster. Honestly, it's about the same speed. The Shadowmane was about 8 seconds as well. So I think it's just because the Shadowmane is slightly bigger that it doesn't feel like it's moving as fast. But the Dinopithecus definitely had the capacity to possibly beat the Shadowmane. Now, another ability with the Dinopithecus that I forgot to mention is the pack buff. You will get a pack boost when there are multiple Dinopithecuses, and you can then trigger a battle cry, which will cause bleed effects on whatever it is that your Dinopithecuses are attacking. So that's all their abilities, how to tame them. Like I said, Shadowmanes don't have a saddle, they have inbuilt armor. Dinopithecuses have the ability to wear helmets, so you can technically get like 400, 500 armored saddles for your Dinopithecus. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a cloth hat on the Dinopithecus just to match the Shadowmane's armor. Now, the cloth hat is most likely going to break, but that's fine. So we're going to get these guys in a battle to the death and see who comes out on top. Alrighty guys, and the combatants are ready. Let's get this fight underway and see who wins. Now, like I said, I think the Shadowmane will win here. You can see the Thornmail Poison Bleed effect is having its toll on the Dinopithecus, and it's causing it to deal reduced damage to the Shadowmane, which is an automatic win condition for the Shadowmane. Yeah, you can see there he's only taking about half damage, even though the Dinopithecus does hit for 57 damage. With that Thornmail Poison effect, it drastically reduced the Dinopithecus's attack damage against the Shadowmane. So all in all, the Shadowmane is the winner. In terms of overall usefulness as well, I think the Shadowmane does take the cake on this one as well. I almost forgot they existed, to be honest, before this video. I completely forgot that Shadowmanes were a thing since Lost Island's come out. One last thing that I did forget to mention about the Dinopithecus as well is that they can climb vines and zip lines. I completely forget about that ability sometimes. So they also have the ability to climb zipline anchors and stuff like that as well. So keep that in mind. But guys, that's going to wrap the video up for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.